Let's begin exploring JavaScript. In the JavaScript programming language, syntax refers to the set of rules that define how we construct programs. Now, a program runs off of a series of instructions for JavaScript to execute. We call these instructions statements. Similar to how sentences end with periods in the English language, JavaScript statements have their own key character to finish a statement, the semicolon. Statements consist of values, expressions, keywords, and comments. Now, you don't need to write anything yet, but let's unpack the following lines of JavaScript code and explore the syntax, kinds of statements, and data types used. Var a equals hello, b equals a plus world, b equals hello world with 2 slashes in the front. All right, in the first line we see var a/b, and notice that var is colored differently than the rest of the line. This is because our editor recognizes var as a keyword in JavaScript. JavaScript reserves a multitude of keywords, including the var, and if, else, for, class, function words, and more. The next 2 lines represent assignment in JavaScript, which we'll go over in more detail later. For now, it's important to note that the semicolon separates each statement into distinct lines for JavaScript to follow. Now, we need to talk about the specific data types represented here. We call the data inside those quotation marks strings. They're strings of characters that simply represent words that could either have a lexical meaning or meaning something in English, or even something random. The single quotation mark can be interchanged with a double quotation mark and still create a valid string. So A could equal hello or hello. Lastly, on this line, we see a comment which is denoted by double slashes, which is very handy in JavaScript to give us some messages for the coder, and JavaScript knows from the double slash not to execute anything written on this line. So we can write whatever we want, a JavaScript comment. We'll save, and we'll see that everything is A-OK. Let's discuss the next important primitive JavaScript data type, the number. Let's explore numbers by changing up the code a little bit. We'll say A equals 1 and B equals A plus 5.5. Then we'll say B is going to equal 6.5 as a result. Here we find JavaScript numbers which either have a decimal point or not. Lastly, on the next line, we see another example of a JavaScript comment. Now, what if we want a comment that is on multiple lines? How could we do this without having to use // every time? Luckily, JavaScript comes with a multi-line comment feature, which is 2 slashes with asterisks in the middle. And then we can go ahead and take this out. Boom. And we see on multiple lines for our new JavaScript comment. All right, that covers the quick intro into the syntax of JavaScript. We explored statements, comments, the use of semicolon, and keywords. Now let's further explore what the variable keyword actually means and how we can achieve assignment in JavaScript.